Hello, YouTube. It is the Three Musketeers.
My hands.
What?
Just keep going.
I don't know what Jack did with his hands. Crazy show today. There's some arguing. There's some news. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. What else, Jack?
Comment, share. The comments and shares matter a lot now. I know I've been talking a lot about likes, but comments and shares are really matter. So
yes,
if you comment, we'll get involved in the comments. If you say something mean, we will not be replying to you. But if you want to get involved with our conversation, Donna Sarah off this YouTube account will reply in the comments. So get going.
Yeah, you can comment on how tan Kayce looks compared to the rest of us.
No,
I have pretty good.
Yeah, you're tech savvy. Before we start the podcast, I haven't been around them very much. How are we feeling about the intern crop this year, you two?
I like them.
They're good. I knew some of them coming in.
Oh, really?
Some of their TikToks.
Brandon declared one of them as our intern, and we were like, Brandon, this guy has multiple things he has to do. It's not like he just came in and it's like, oh, like you just get to point them out and be like, oh, no, you're with me. But maybe you'll help out Lee Holbert. Then the guy from Michigan State, who, of course, you know, I had a lot of beef with this year.
Oh, yeah.
He was dancing. They all seem like good guys, though.
Did he come up to you and talk to you?
Yeah, he stuttered a lot. It made me feel really powerful. But it is. But he's a good guy. He came up to me and I introduced myself to him too. They all seem like good right now. Like I don't really even know anything about them.
Also, right now the work ethic. Like they came in. I think they're all in by 10 a.m. I know. At least for Barstool, 10 a.m. is when the rest of content.
Yeah, and if anybody's listening and saying that, oh, I can't believe it's 10 a.m., like, you guys aren't up until midnight working. Continue.
Yeah, social's late. But I remember I looked over at one point about like 11, silent. Like, I didn't need headphones to focus. So
they weren't.
They are silent, and we've had some interns in the past that have not been silent.
I mean, wasn't it, I was asking Katie, wasn't it last year's class that was just loud as fuck all the time, or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago with Sean Groves. No.
Or was it 3 years ago?
I feel like
there was a time with an intern class, they were so loud that like everyone had to go tell them to shut the fuck up in the gambling cave.
Probably last year.
Oh, I think that was Sean Groves. I don't know.
I don't know. Regardless, they seem nice. I met Dawson today. I told him I hate TCU to his face. He obviously played for
Dawson
TCU.
Was a walk-on at TCU.
Yeah, and I told him I hated TCU, and so then he wanted to know why. And then I explained to him that it's not really hatred. It's just I don't like TCU versus like actually hating Baylor. But he seems very nice. A&M and TCU are in a baseball regional together this weekend.
And A&M just took TCU's coach. This is his first
Schloss,
year.
Yeah. He like coached for like 20 years at TCU, right?
Yeah, and he's at A&M, and people thought that TCU, I think, got screwed with their regional. But
I just want everybody to know that while we are a college football podcast, if one of our teams, like last year, goes to the World Series, we become a college baseball podcast for a second.
I don't think State made it.
They did not.
But I'm saying Brandon.
No, you guys.
Brandon was insufferable.
No, if you make it, I want you to be.
I'm going to be the biggest college baseball fan of all time. People are going to hate it.
Same.
I will say though, this Tennessee baseball team is like otherworldly. And then while we're talking about baseball, Oklahoma's softball team is the most disgusting team in the history of sports. They're like 53-2. They've mercy ruled like 45 out of the 53 games. They have like.
You've been watching softball?
I mean, if you follow like college football journalists.
Jack's also a big like women's sports follower.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, yeah,
big time feminist, Jack McGuire.
Thank you. But they, if you follow like some college football beat reporters, usually in the spring they'll cover softball. And I follow a bunch of Oklahoma people, and I've been hearing about this softball team for years. They won last year. This year they're on this woman, because she's like 22 now. She's from Hawaii, Jocelyn Alo. She's like the greatest. She's Babe Ruth of softball.
Really?
So if Oklahoma loses, it would be a big upset. May have an Oklahoma-Texas softball national championship. That would be sick.
That would be incredible. Well, thank you for the softball stuff. I'm going to be honest. I don't watch softball.
I'm telling you.
No offense.
Softball is very entertaining.
I went to the Women's College World Series one year.
Women's College World Series is awesome.
I went for work, and it was great. But I don't follow it, I should say.
I think it's really cool. We have it on in the cave in there, but
okay, let's just do a podcast.
That was the inch. Well, that was a long. All right.
If you wanna.
No, we'll don't worry about it.
Okay.
Timestamps.
Welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, presented by High Noon. I was gonna say, Jack, can you slap the box like I always do?
I did.
You did. Do it harder.
No.
Slap. No, you're not gonna slap it harder.
I just don't want to. What if I got
Thank
hurt?
you. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't want that. It is me, Jack, and Katie today. Brandon is not here. We're filling in without the boss, without the self-proclaimed heart and
Yes, I
soul.
was about to say self.
I was
Self-proclaimed?
self-proclaimed boss. Like he's not the boss of me.
No, but he's gonna hear that and then
No, he won't.
He's not gonna hear it.
It doesn't matter if he's not on the show. He's not listening to this. Like someone would have to send him a clip. For
like
him.
we could just motherfuck him the entire time and he would have no idea.
Someone would have to send him a clip on
Yeah,
Twitter.
which
to,
you
like,
know they
I'm
would.
not on his
Some
socials. I'll block him.
Good point. Snitches get blocked by Katie. So did you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, I didn't really do much.
I didn't really do much either. I was in Boston. I got to chill. I know you were chilling on the beach,
Yeah.
Katie.
I was able to go to the beach and not get burned.
Connecticut?
Yeah. It's
Nice.
right by Jennings, by
And-
Fairfield University.
Yeah.
Not getting burned is key. But I saw that you were on the beach drinking some High Noons. You did some great product placement on your Instagram story.
Shore in Connecticut.
I walked out of here with 2 of the big of the pool packs, and Nate was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Content." I was like,
Oh, yeah,
doing
you-
social."
Always content. Although I will tell you, you know where you really you slipped a little bit.
What?
You got to show the boobs with the High Noon.
That is true.
I'm already not liking this show.
What do you mean?
I'm kidding.
I mean, that's where you really do numbies.
I will say I saw so many high noons everywhere.
Everywhere. They really, really are
Run
everywhere.
the summer.
They do. And
In the fall for us.
well, they run. I mean, yeah, but the summer is like this. That's when the High Noon drinks thrive outside of like if you're a tailgate person, right? Because it's like everyone wants a cold drink. High Noons, as everyone knows, real vodka. Dave's face is now everywhere with High Noon again. So like he's got like those cutouts in like all the liquor stores, people taking photos. But I will make one more complaint. I still haven't tried the lemon. How the fuck have I not tried the lemon?
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I'm
You
going up to
should've.
Connecticut this weekend where I found the last one, and I will bring back.
No, they have to be in this office. Like I don't. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
They are
with you.
running low. There's I think about
The
5
lemons?
left. No high noons at all in this.
Oh, they always disappear in the summer.
No,
always.
no, they're in the back.
I know.
Oh, they're low there?
Yeah.
Remember, I mean, it's just true. It's like we go through these and then people start taking them. I can't blame them. They're great. You know, I've talked about it enough. I think I've just completely given up on the bathtub thing because no one wants to make it happen. Unless
How many times do we have to beg for something? Like,
I don't
that's gonna
understand.
benefit them.
and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna
I
be
still
in
love
the
you.
bathtub.
I'm sorry. I wasn't.
No.
Also, I don't think it's on them. It's
It's not on them. It's on us.
Our branding.
It's the Barstool difference. So, anyways, go grab your High Noon pool pack. The lime, guava, kiwi, peach. Got the new lemons. We have the new tall boys, which I very much appreciate because they go down so easy.
Yes,
They do.
The tall boys. I mean, it needed to happen, and they made it happen.
So what we're going to do for this show is we're going to go through some news. The SEC meetings were this week, so some news coming out of that, some alignment. Then we posted a question on Twitter.
Yep, I did post that.
I saw that. Thank you. And I'm going to save what we're doing, but we are going to be doing lists today.
Yes.
And I think we're going to piss some people off and make some people happy maybe.
Yeah, we have some lists. Just actually one or two lists.
2 lists. One nice list, one mean list.
I will say though, this is what, our third off season together, or second off
I
season.
think it's our. I can't do math. I think
Oh, this is
it's
our
for sure our
off
third,
season.
fourth
It's gonna be
season.
our fourth season. I can't believe we make it through the off season with the shows. Like, I don't know how we do it.
I mean, I think it's because we just talk a lot.
No. What I know how we do it,
Right.
like, because we are creative. We do come up with things, but it's like every week I'm like, what are we going to talk about now? Not because it's like
not because
there's
no
It's just like there's nothing to talk. Like,
right.
we always find something. It's good that we only have one episode a week, but it's tough. Like,
So everyone listening, thank you for listening in the
thank
off
you.
season.
We've had our past 4 weeks have been like, there's a lot of momentum behind the show right now, and in the dead of the summer.
Right. So it's like the best off season numbers we've had, right? I mean, obviously they don't compare to end season because
Last
that would make
season,
sense.
The Will Compton episode was amazing. But even the episode before Will Compton did really, really well.
Love it. You love to see it.
I don't know. This could just be a coincidence, but re-putting you and Brandon into the thumbnails and not coaches or players, I think has helped a little bit.
Well, you know what we need to do is get Brandon and I to do thirst traps again when he comes back, and we'll start really pumping those out for the summer.
And I was thinking about like for our thumbnails, I'll just like I'll put you guys in the green screen room, and then we'll have a bunch of. It'll be easier for me to cut you guys out.
Okay.
And then because also it's tough to get a good screenshot when you're talking. I don't want to make you look ugly or anything.
Well, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that.
Not that I would make you look ugly, but like a bad angle, like.
I know.
Like yelling, like anybody could look ugly when they're yelling.
For sure, bad angles exist. People on the internet don't think bad angles exist, but.
Oh well, of course. Well, everyone in the internet's a perfect 10. Yes. But so I was thinking maybe, and we get a much higher definition photo, you guys.
All right.
And I think it would help. Maybe we'll do that. I know Expressions, the soccer guy at Barstool for Tottenham, he does it where he just has a bunch of stock images, and then he puts. And then his producer puts it on there, and it's much easier for him to cut out because the green screen, yada, yada, yada.
One more thing, and then we'll get to actual college football because, you know, I know there's somebody listening like, talk about college football. Excuse me, it's June. I think just workshopping an idea here.
I'm listening.
We should maybe do an Unnecessary Roughness cameo for the fall. Can I say that?
Well, who's getting the money?
Well, we'll split it.
I don't know if I have to cut this out of the episode.
Really?
I don't know. You guys.
Well, Brandon and I both are on.
You guys do it. The thing is, you guys would get a lot of requests. Are you going to do it?
Well, I have one. I just don't promote it. Brandon has one and does promote it, I think. But like, I just kind of like lay low if people find me. But what I have found recently is that a lot of people are asking for like college football stuff, and I'm like, oh, well, that would be if we only do it for the fall.
I don't want you guys to violate your contracts. And also, Dave has that tweet, only losers are on Cameo.
But that was a long time ago.
Okay, I'm not against you.
I mean, have you seen Frank the Tank's cameos?
Yeah, but he's Frank the Tank.
Yeah, that's true.
Dave said, everyone except Frank is
a loser.
But I will say, maybe we could just, like, we don't promote it on social and stuff.
I don't promote.
Only on, like, if
the podcast.
True podcast listeners.
Roughnecks.
I don't know.
I've been teetering on the idea of doing feet pics on Cameo.
I'll literally, you send me the pictures, I'll do everything. Give me like 15%.
I was talking to all the guys in the office today about what the percentage would be. Anyways, shall we talk about college football?
Feet the streets.
Feet the streets. Oh yeah, Jerry. Jerry said the numbers Jerry was throwing out to me about these were just astronomical.
No, insane. I think if you like fell down on your luck and you got fired from everything, you could just sell feet pics if you're somebody who has a following on Instagram.
I think I could just do side hustle feet pics, and I think my life would change.
Pics, I feel.
Yeah. Anyways, so now we've gotten horny on the podcast. Zaz shaking his head. Look, Zaz like, yeah, no, never, Jack. He's our feminist. Jack is the feminist of the podcast. He never says anything inappropriate.
People call me an incel online.
Oh,
You're a
Northwest
feminist.
is leading Oklahoma.
Wow.
What happened?
Northwestern, sorry. In the College World Series, have we talked about it?
Northwestern.
Softball.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Keep me updated.
Yeah, keep us updated, Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
Well, I say us. Keep Jack updated so because he's the resident softball guy. Okay, so, all right, you two are much younger than Brandon. Just younger than me. Much younger than Brandon. But that means you got out of college pretty recently. So you probably know a lot of people that are really fighting student debt right now.
Oh, I mean,
unfortunately.
Think about, it's in the news all the time, and rightfully so, because it's a massive topic. And I don't know the exact number right now. I know there's websites out there that just update around the clock, but the debt number is growing by the second.
Yeah, it's very high. I mean, and I say that there are people that I know that are my age that are still battling student debt because maybe they went and got their doctorate or whatever it may be. Brandon, I'm sure, even though we make fun of how old he is, like I'm sure there are people his age still looking at student debt because it is such a massive undertaking. But our friends at Earnest right now, they want to help you pay off your student loans faster. And that's what we like to hear. We love to see that.
We love to hear this, and Earnest has been around with us for a long time, and they have helped countless roughnecks just like you who is listening or watching, and they want to help us even more with a special offer, I believe.
Yes, because they can change your interest rate. That's great. They can lower your monthly payment, and you never pay fees, not even late fees. And that's with the special offer. All of those
Okay.
things come along with it. So the special offer, it only takes 2 minutes, which is no time at all. With Earnest, it only takes 2 minutes to see what your new rate could be, and there's no credit impact. So there's no late fees, no credit impact. And if you've never had your credit impacted, like, it's a big deal when that happens. Like, they
Yeah,
don't
of
teach you that in
course.
school, but they should. So right now, Earnest is offering our listeners $100 cash bonus, free money. If you refinance your student debt at earnest.com/barstool. It is not available in all states, but just go online. It only takes 2 minutes to figure out if you are eligible. Once again, $100 cash bonus when you visit earnest.com/barstool to refinance your student loan. Again, more details at earnest.com/barstool. Not available in all states. Am I whispering or not? Am I not whispering today?
Do it.
Do it. Whisper.
Okay. So what is it? The SMR? What is it?
ASMR.
ASMR for Earnest. Go to earnest.com/barstool for more details, terms, and conditions to apply. Earnest student loan refinancing made by Earnest Operations LLC in MLS number 1204917, California Financing Law License 6054788, 535 Mission Street in San Francisco, California 94105. Visit earnest.com/licenses for a full list of licenses. SEC meetings were this week. I usually don't care about any conference meetings. I know, like, there will be headlines that come out and there are news that comes out of it. And, like, again, it's the dead of the off season. It's the summertime. There's not much. However, one of the biggest things that came out this week was conference realignment and what that's going to look like. Obviously, Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC started this whole domino fall, and then the Big 12, having to add 4 more teams, so they would be the Big 14 instead of the Big 12, whatever it may be. And I just said Big 14 because they can't say the Big 12 if there's 14.
Sounds like almost like a themed birthday party.
It does, like a Sweet 16, but a Big
Katie's
14.
Big 14. And it's like, oh, you go. It's at. I don't know. Where do you have a 14-year-old's birthday party? Like where?
I
think it depends.
Pool party bunch,
Like a
but
pool, like
at
at
a
some-
YMCA, not like an out.
Yeah,
pool.
I mean-
Welcome to New York City.
14 is not really an exciting age if you're talking about that time of your life.
Have
Birthday parties.
birthday parties.
Big 14 also kind of sounds like maybe like a really shitty grocery store to me.
Big 14.
We got to go to Big 14 to save money today.
Big Y.
Yeah, something like that.
There's a bunch of big Ys.
Also, there's enough big. Like we need to switch it up. You have Big 10, Big 12.
So
Yeah,
you think
but-
they should rechange their name. Interesting.
We can't have Big 10, Big 12, Big 14.
Well, Big 14 would be Big
14
12
is the Big 12.
because they're going to add 4 teams.
There.
They're subtracting
They have
2.
all the trademarks for Big 12, so I would be surprised if they.
It would be fucking dumb.
Also, the Big 10.
It's like the Pac-12 used to be the Pac-16.
Correct.
It would be dumb if the Big 12. Yeah, no. I just, all this conference realignment stuff, like, obviously it's all hypothetical at this point. We think that Texas and Oklahoma will go to the SEC, and I think a lot of people think by 2023. So they obviously, this season is status quo. I'm sure we've all seen it, but I think that the most interesting thing that I saw, Greg Sankey had a lot to say, and we'll get to that. The SEC meetings are always kind of the loudest because of the commissioner, but
Well, they run the
World.
country.
yeah, exactly. I mean, Greg Sankey's
As they do, the rest follow usually.
yes, exactly. I mean, never forget what happened in 2020. Like, we always
Yeah.
go back to what happened with playing in COVID. That feels like that was 10 years ago. It was just 2 seasons ago. But so the biggest takeaway is that when I read the millions and millions of things that they talked about with the conference realignment, Jack, I think you need to explain the first one to me.
Pods.
It says eliminate all divisions without pods.
Okay, so what's gonna happen is the pod would still be a division technically because it's like what you're in, but a pod
Be
is
smaller.
There's going to be 16 teams in the SEC, and there's going to be 4 pods of 4 teams.
Right.
And in your pod, you play 3 teams in the same 3 teams
Every year.
in your pod in that year, and then you play 2 teams from other pods. I think that would get you to 9 games. Yes.
So
if it's, let's just say it'd be Texas A&M, Arkansas, and LSU. You would play as A&M, Texas, LSU, and Arkansas every year. Then you would play of the remaining 3 pods, 2 teams of those pods. That has 2 out of 4.
a lot of math.
So you would have 9 conference games, 3 in your pod, then 2 in every other pod. So that gets you to 9. You have 12 games as a whole, usually. So you would have 1 non-conference. And then I think 3 non-conference, and that's what pods. And then there would be in the how it would work from a SEC championship perspective. It would be instead of the East and West going, it would be the top 2 teams.
And the conference has more control over that. Not just the SEC. In general, they're kind of moving, like conference realignment's going to move more towards the conference deciding.
The NCAA
They're just
launched or took away a rule that essentially like almost forced upon like divisions.
yeah.
So like, and now,
And they should have. I mean, they're just losing power by the second.
I'm surprised they did this, but they must have been forced to. And the SEC is very and other because like what was it, Katie? Like a Pac-12 like if you looked at what the Pac-12 championship would have been if there wasn't divisions because of this NCAA rule, I think it's probably if it's over a certain amount of teams in a conference because the Big 12 hasn't had to have it, but they have 10 teams in their conference.
I saw someone put out a graphic for the Big Ten. I'll see if I can find it.
By the way, I realized earlier that I said Pac-16. I meant Pac-10. I was thinking 16 for the. I was thinking 16 for the SEC. But here's the thing: what I don't understand.
Sounds right. Pac-16.
Way too many. Not way too many. It just the number is too many to say. Anyways, the 16 SEC teams with the 4 pods makes complete sense. But how does that then affect the other conferences if the NCAA took away that rule? That's my thing. So it's like, the 4 pods for the SEC makes sense.
Yes.
So then how does that affect the other conferences though? Because if this goal of, for conference realignment goes through of eliminating all divisions and you have to create pods, well, yeah, 16 is a great way to do pods. It's 4.
Well, you don't have to do pods if you don't want to.
Okay, so they can keep divisions if they want.
You want to, but I think the bigger thing here is like instead of like sometimes you'll see in a division where I think it happened a lot in the Pac-12 recently where a team will be like 11-1 and 10-2, but they don't play in the conference championship game because they played as division foes. Right. And then the team from the North gets in, and the team from the North was like 8-4, 7-5. So I think it's up to the conference's discretion. And the pods don't have to be 4 teams. You could do it with 3. It depends how many you have. But the SEC is going to have 16. I think the pod idea really sounds good, at least in theory to me.
Yeah, no, I like it, I think.
And it also allows teams who have rivals out of conference to still play them. Mm-hmm. So like Georgia Tech.
South Carolina, Clemson.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, this is like what happens here? Like, are we going to... I don't know. Like in 15 years, are we going to see conferences?
No. I think it might even be less than that.
We're going to see a super conference.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like
I can imagine
really be P5, G5.
I was going to say, I think that right now how we have like the USFL, XFL is the feeder for the NFL supposedly. I think that what we think of college football is going to be just the Power 5 schools, and all the G5 schools are going to be the kids who don't get big enough NIL, don't get enough recruiting, will go there for 1 or 2 years, and then like they'll be the G5 will be the new JUCO.
What could I mean, in all honesty, it's going to be tough because there's so many TV contracts. Everyone's just been in this model of what college sports has been. But if college sports just want to say, hey, like we're doing the soccer model,
yeah,
and we're doing it from the perspective of that.
You think teams could be relegated?
Yeah, but it's relegated to like what Katie was saying, and then other teams can move up or yada yada yada.
I think the relegation's gonna be hard because it's not just football.
No, but it sounds so fun.
Like so many like other schools.
It can be like disconnected. Like there's a Real Madrid basketball team.
Huh.
But also, and like when you look at
and they're like, and then you could be relegated in basketball, but not football. You know.
I guess that is true. Like Franklin Marshall wrestling is D1, but the rest, like Johns Hopkins.
See that a lot with rowing too. Like there'll be D1 row or like,
different conferences.
I love the idea of relegation because I think it's really funny. Like I think, I mean, I know if it's your team that gets relegated, it's not funny. But to like think
it's
not funny at all. But also, if you look at, it's kind of football's on its own right now as it is.
Be like relegated, it would just be like you're playing different teams. Like it's relegation would be like there'd be like 40 to 50 teams in the top tier, and then like maybe some get relegated, some get promoted. But like awesome. Bottom tier or like the second tier isn't the end of the world.
No.
It really depends. I think it's a pipe dream. It's something that may never happen, but it is something that if they wanted to blow it all up and start all over, I think they could learn a lot from. And I think it's a model that's kind of like they could be like trendsetters.
Yeah. It'd be, I mean, it would change the whole thing. And obviously every conference right now is going to have different things. One of the, and you've already kind of touched on it, Jack, with the pods, but like, so we're recording this on a Thursday. It's dropping on a Thursday. Friday, Greg Sankey and company is meeting with all the university presidents to potentially vote on one of the modules that has been presented. So they have the 1-7 model and they have the 3-6 model. So it's the 9-game one that you mentioned earlier.
3-6s from Jordan Woodruff. 6-inch
Or
dick.
3-6 Mafia.
Yeah, 6-inch dick, 6 figures, 6 feet tall.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm
I
just.
think that should be a huge caveat.
If
If you're right out of college,
Just
I
by
love
the way,
that
everybody,
I love that Katie's
the amount
like,
of
"Oh."
people that are men out there. I want this for the ladies that are listening, which is 5% of our audience. But the amount of men that make or that meet all those standards is very, very low. So
Yep. I'll tell you at least with the 6 feet part.
Well, also it's kind of hard to know unless you're sleeping with somebody and or they send dick pics how to know how big somebody's dick is.
Yep.
So it's like even if they're 6 feet and make 6 figures, you don't necessarily know they meet that third
It's
one.
also angles.
Oh my God.
dicks?
Like Zaw was doing something else back there and then looked up as soon as we were talking about dicks. And I just, again,
I was
I
live
swear
on
this
TikTok.
this is not CCK. I swear to God, this is unnecessary roughness. But
I
yeah,
will say though, shout out Jordan. Like I just heard 3-6.
and you immediately
I
thought of her.
immediately thought of it. So
Yeah, I
like,
first thought of 3-6 Mafia.
there she is.
There she is.
It's good.
I mean, or like the devil 666. I mean,
Yeah, no, don't say that to me.
the fact that you think of Jordan Woodruff.
I don't
first-
play around with that, man.
I'm just saying. The fact
Devil
that you
stuff like
you think of
demonic stuff. I don't
I'm out.
play
No,
around
I'm
with
out.
that.
I'm out. It's just a fact, though. Like that's the numbers. But you back to football. You mentioned the 9-game model. Then there's the 8-game model, which is the 1-7, which sounds way less cool. And that would be they'd have one permanent rivalry game each year. Obviously, we know that, like the Iron Bowl, Georgia, Florida, whatever. And then the other 7 games would rotate on and off the schedule on a yearly basis. I personally like the 9-game one better.
The 3-6, which we were talking about.
The 3-6,
The
yeah.
3-6 for everyone is pods.
Yes.
Because you play the same 3 every year, then you rotate the other 6.
Yes, I like that. But those are the 2 things that are on the table for the SEC. There are other conferences are kind of following suit on their own modules they're going to have to vote on. But again, it doesn't matter for 2022. The earliest it's 2023. Another thing is that they want to ensure, this is not just the SEC, this is as a whole what this could look like, that ensure that teams play every conference opponent at least once within 2 or 3 seasons, depending on their module. I love that.
That's what the biggest thing with this it would change, and it would be like Georgia and Alabama only play each other like once in a while.
Right. And
Obviously,
then they
they
meet in
may
the
play
SEC
in the
championship,
SEC
right.
championship, but like from a regular season perspective,
I love it. I love that
there's
idea.
Probably a bunch of SEC teams that you haven't really played.
Right. Or like think about in the Big Ten, like if you knew
When's the last time you guys played Kentucky?
2 years ago,
Yeah, it's probably like once in a
might have been 3. No, I don't. 2020 just really fucks with everything.
and
when
that
you
was a
start thinking
fake
about it.
schedule too.
But yeah, I mean Notre Dame was in the ACC. I love this for all conferences. I think this is so great because a lot of time, you mentioned it earlier with conference championships. Like sometimes you see way shittier divisions playing in the conference championship. I don't like that part, but I would still love to see that division play the other division every year.
Wait, you played in 2018 and not the next one was 1952.
Yeah, well,
So it's been 4 seasons.
no, they only play once every, I think, 6 years or so.
Well, obviously it's new for being the SEC. But
You've only played Kentucky once.
Yeah, and I didn't. I mean, it
That's
was
because West versus East, and that's what they're trying to get rid of.
yeah.
yeah, and I
Maybe
like.
you guys are on this docket this year, are they? Does it have like?
No, I don't think so.
I'm on Winsipedia.
I don't think so. I knew it was a while back. I think Cash Daniel was still playing for Kentucky when.
Yeah, no, that would make sense because that was
Even if you look at Alabama, Kentucky, they played 2020, 2016, 2013. Yeah.
or so.
But this new goal would be, which I love. Again, and every conference will be different depending on what they set for their schedule, but at least once within 2 to 3 seasons. So you're cutting that down like immensely. That makes sense to me. Like when you talk about conference games, like A&M and Kentucky are in the same conference. They played one time. Like that should not happen.
All the times that you've been in the Like, you've been in the SEC forever.
Well, and you look at the Big 12 too, how much that's going to change when it becomes maybe the Big 14. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. But like how now all of the new teams coming in to the Big 12, they're immediately going to have to play all of the Big 12 teams as opposed to like just what's in there. And the Big 12, it doesn't have divisions as it is right now. They're going to have to change that.
Well, they play each other. Everyone plays everyone each year.
Right. But now that's going to change, you would think, because they're going to have 14 teams.
Possible.
Right. It wouldn't be possible.
It does seem like other conferences are also taking on the eliminating of the rule that you have to play the divisions. The winner of the division for the champion.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's one of the big things.
Balls again. Yeah, there. Yeah.
Spider's on one today, by the way. I don't know.
He's been on one for a while, but
he's just
as long as he's happy.
That's a good point. Yes, as long as he is happy. So, I guess we'll see. I mean, again, this is all just kind of talking right now. There's a lot of ideas flowing. Greg Sankey obviously is kind of leading the pack.
Oh my goodness!
What the fuck is going on? There are just balls, and I mean like toy balls, all over the glass.
Oh, and Blattman.
Blattman. Did you hear Dave call him Steve?
Of the show?
Yeah, it was very funny. I mean, so it was a
complimentary.
Super
on the Dave Portnoy show.
Yeah, it was super complimentary of Blattman. He was saying, he deserves this new role and he's been so good, but he called him Steve.
Blattman, for those who don't know, you probably know at this point, but he's the executive college football show producer. And now he got upgraded. He has a new role at Barstool. We've had a lot of changes recently.
Yeah.
And he's head of video production or something?
Yeah, he's the big boss when it comes to video production.
Which is great.
Yeah, I sat in a producer meeting, their weekly one, and he just led the whole thing.
It's crazy.
So good.
I tell him to fuck himself all the time.
Blattman.
Yeah,
big Arizona football fan.
Yeah, huge. I was actually talking to him about Arizona because of the lists that we're going to go through later. I wanted his take on Arizona. But if you watch the college football show, you know about Blattman because Dave throws him under the bus every single week on the show.
I think it's a new producer this year.
I don't want to talk about it. I can't even get ready. Like, I've already cried about it. Not really, but like, I don't know.
We'll know.
But I will say, I'm not going to say where we're going, but we are getting closer and closer to solidifying the road trip schedule, and it is fucking awesome. Sorry, Jack.
It's so nice.
No, it's all right. I've started a new initiative in my life. I'm trying to not be envious anymore.
Okay, so you're not envious of how cool the college football schedule is going to be this year.
No,
okay, rubbing it in.
No, I just had to play Brandon for a second. That
fine.
Brandon would be a much bigger dickhead about it than me.
It's okay. It's like a bit in the show.
Okay,
I don't mind you guys doing that.
I think you should have kept the job, Jack.
Hey, you know what?
I liked it as the host. I liked it.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago, but
it was a long time ago. Yeah.
But I mean, the schedule seems great. I haven't even seen it, so I don't. Yeah,
no, it's pretty stacked. Some really big surprises this year in comparison to the last few years.
Yeah, changes of types of games we're looking at.
Oh, it's wild, and of course, gambling will say the forefront. But I know people are going to be disappointed because usually this upcoming ad read deserves Academy Awards from one Thomas Brandon Walker.
No, it's like
I feel
there's a Roman ad, and
I feel dirty.
And it's like.
Well, you have a penis.
Go into what?
You have a penis.
Yes, confirmed. I confirm it every morning. However, I will say, without Brandon here, it's kind of like going to an NBA game and for a Roman ad, and the star player gets hurt in the second quarter or something.
I mean, yeah, it's tough because it's like if you're going to a game just to see LeBron and LeBron's not playing. You're still there, but you're not seeing LeBron. This Roman ad is not going to bring the bang that Brandon Walker does when he talks about his penis, screams about his dick. I can't do that. I don't even want to talk about Brandon's dick anymore. But what I do want to talk about, Jack. I don't either. But I have to talk about penises with Roman because
Roman. Roman.
Yes, I mean, you're a guy that's used Roman.
Yes.
Yes, I think all the guys in the office have used Roman. It's pretty incredible, right?
Yes, incredible. Helps with longer lasting sex. They have plenty of things. I'm fortunate enough that my hair is still intact, but it does help with hair loss. And there's a bunch of a bunch of stuff. Has so many things, but I think today we're focusing on the longer lasting sex.
The swipes.
And those swipes.
They help you bring your A game, Jack.
Are helping I and others bring their A game.
So it's an online men's health company, like you said, but they are changing the game with the Roman swipes. It's a secret to longer lasting sex. Like you said, you don't have to think about baseball, or maybe you've been thinking about Brandon Walker screaming about his dick and it's not helping you. I don't know what helps you last longer.
Nightmare fuel.
Nightmare. But they are clinically proven to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, fast acting. They don't require a prescription, and they ship it to you in discreet, unmarked packaging.
What is Katie laughing about?
Brandon's dick, maybe.
Yeah, a Kayce phrasing.
Oh, okay.
What did I say?
Nothing. I'll tell you later.
What did I say? Anyways, okay, so Roman right now is making you have better sex, basically. And I will say I have been with somebody who has used the Roman swipes before. It does not transfer to your partner. So that's a good thing. It did not transfer. So I can say that. No transferring to your partner.
Portal does not exist.
Yeah, there you go. They're super easy to use. You just take it right out of the packet. You swipe it on. You let it dry. You're good to go. And if you go to getroman.com/walker, you will get $10 off when you choose a monthly plan. Again, they ship to you and nobody knows what you're getting. You're just getting a surprise package. Is that what you're laughing at, Katie? Getroman.com/walker to get $10 off when you choose a monthly plan. I'm so ready for college football season. And I know, everybody, speaking of, we might as well do the season talk now, because on macrodosing, was it yesterday? Whenever it came out.
Season talk? What do you
mean?
Well,
they talked about the actual seasons of the year.
Oh, okay.
So when somebody asks me what my favorite season is, it's absolutely fall. That is because of college football season.
Yeah.
Now, I love, summer is fine. But once I hit this time of my calendar year, I want college football. I would be totally okay with skipping summer. I don't give a fuck. I do not now. When I was in college, I cared a lot about summer. And I like to go on a vacation for the summer. I don't need 2 months of summer in New York City. And granted, most people leave, whatever. But I want the fall.
I need all the preview books to come out.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you love college football, you kind of are all right, let's hurry up the process, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, granted, college kids that are listening to this are fuck you guys, we need the summer. But on macrodosing, they had a huge argument. Brandon jumped into the mix too. They were asking us around the office for TikTok as well. When, do you know what question I'm about to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack doesn't. Oh yeah, you're right. When do you consider the end of summer?
Oh, I did see them bickering about this. Summer ends when college football starts.
Katie, what do you think?
I think whatever that long weekend is, Labor Day.
Labor Day. I said I believe summer is Memorial Day to Labor Day.
The thing is, the reason, and you know this because you grew up in the South, but
yes.
A lot, Northeast kids go back to school after Labor Day usually. But Southern kids usually start early in the summer.
But the argument then became, and I'm on Big T's side, which I think, if Brandon was here, he would tell me I'm stupid for. But Big T said that he believes that it ends when college football starts too, Labor Day or whatever it may be.
Around the same time.
Yeah, it's usually week 1 is Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Brandon was like, oh, well, tell me it's not summer when you go to a Mississippi State game in September and it's hot as fuck. Yeah, no, we're not saying that it's not hot other places. There are plenty of parts of the country that are still hot.
I disagree
but it's that doesn't mean that's summer. It's not summer.
Say it ends September 25th or something like that.
I guess when it's not. See, that's my thing. It's if
it's
you
not hot.
There are games that are hot in November, right? And there are cold. We've gone to games in September.
September games.
Yes, I think the first year we traveled to Ann Arbor, it was the end of September, and Spider, bless his soul, had to go get me jackets because it was I didn't dress well.
Especially if it's raining or something or about to rain. It will get a little cold.
And also, Katie put it on her Instagram story, it was hailing in Connecticut this weekend.
Insane.
That doesn't mean it was fucking winter.
Weather's crazy.
But it doesn't mean it's winter. So we can't go on the weather. We've got to go on the calendar. I don't know what Brandon's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
It's and I've heard that before, and maybe it's a little bit later for NFL fans, but NFL fans have told me, no, summer ends when NFL starts. I think it's the same with college football. Maybe the first week you can say it's first week's usually it is a little hot.
Labor Day.
But I disagree vehemently.
Week 0 is ahead of Labor Day this year.
No, but week 0
and that usually is that's
fake. Week 0 is a fake week, even though UConn plays fake week.
It is a fake, but this thing is I'm okay with college football starting on Labor Day weekend and saying that it's both, because most people that have summer houses or go on summer vacations, Labor Day weekend's a big one. It also has college football season. That Tuesday after Labor Day is fall. I don't care what the fucking weather is.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm glad we all agree on that.
I agree on that. I didn't even think that was up for debate.
Brandon's going after people on Twitter about it, saying, and I saw some interaction, and it's okay, you can make the argument of the weather, but I've been to games all over the country in November that are still hot, So whatever. That I'm glad we agree. We can move on from that. Jack, you tweeted something from the account today that shocked me. And it shouldn't shock me, but it does. That Ohio State estimated what their
The NIL
roster would
collective, I think, estimated it. So not Ohio State, but Ohio State's a part of it. But it's I think that was probably a study done by the school.
So Ohio State's roster would be estimated for the NIL payouts of $13 million
to keep it together.
That's crazy.
So this is the thing that you have and I was getting into it, not even into it, but Chuck asked about who's going to be the top teams in the college football this year, and I go Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson looks like they're going back. Again,
the same teams you always say.
And then PFT was the same teams as always, and I was like, yeah. And then Rico was like, it's getting too much, the sport's getting boring. And then I was like, Rico, it's always been like this if you think about it. But then I saw this report, and I make the tweet, and I read the report. It was from somebody in Columbus, a reporter. It seems as if it's a legit report. If they can't keep it together, the wealth will kind of spread out. If you can't, and I get it, if you can't keep the 4-star who wants an extra $300K because you're allocating it more for the 5 stars, that 4-star may not sit on the bench at Ohio State anymore, and he'll go to Illinois, get his $300K, and then maybe the talent spreads out a little bit more because you can't keep everybody who are wait, I'm sitting on the bench and I'm not getting paid money. I know I can get paid money.
I love that theory because I was arguing with somebody recently. I don't remember. I think it was actually my dad, which I don't like to talk shit about my dad, but he was fucking wrong.
Yeah, we're all wrong sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he was saying, that he doesn't like the NIL deals. He wants, the kids to make money off their name, image, and likeness, but he doesn't like that it makes the rich richer.
I don't think that's...
And I don't think it's true either.
I don't know if it's true.
Because it's okay, so if you take on paper and you say, okay, Ohio State would potentially need to pay out $13 million. Well, then you're well, look at all the schools that can't raise $13 million. It's well, you think that an entire roster of 120 players, and I understand that includes walk-ons and whatever else, but if they can't spend more than 13 million, then those kids are going to have to go somewhere else. So I think you're right. When it kind of disperses it, it's not going to be completely dispersed by any stretch, but it doesn't mean that schools that don't have $13 million are not going to get big players. And I know Dion obviously throws a little wrench in that argument, but we're already seeing it in year one. So some of these guys will go other places.
It's it really depends upon if you have the boosters and you have the donations from the schools that are from the donors, and if they want to get involved, and if they do, and they see that, I think a lot of schools are running into the issue where instead of donating to the school now, they just donate to the NIL funds.
Right.
And
which is going to be a problem.
The schools are not happy about this, but at my point to that is, hey, if I have this money and I want to donate to something, I don't want to donate to the whole, I want to know where my money's going. It's the taxes argument. It's I would love to just see where my taxes go. I would love to see where my donation goes. And they're oh, it just goes to the athletic department. They're okay, we're going into we're going to send it into the NIL fund. The bigger thing here is
Jack's on his shit again.
Yeah, if the school has the donors and the boosters, you can compete. I think you can, and you have the decent amount of facilities. You can put some stuff together.
Well, let's call it what it is. If you're a booster for a football program, and you've been having to do it, under the table because it's been illegal, and then you find out that some of your money went to a department building or
they don't like that.
They don't like that. They don't like that at all.
My parents were mad about that's an issue at a lot of schools.
Right.
My high school changed it when I was getting ready to graduate. My parents were we're not gonna donate to the school anymore because
they're doing whatever they right.
We like certain things and we want to donate to certain things, not the whole thing.
So NIL is about to get boosted, no pun intended, because these guys are going to be able to just say, no, we want this for the football team. We want this for the basketball team. We want this for the baseball team, the softball team, soccer, whatever. But 13 million is obviously a jarring number. But then if you look at, one single player, and Quinn Ewers getting $1 million, 13 million is really not a lot.
Yeah, so there's like levels to this. So there's the NIL from the perspective of like legitimate NIL. Like from the perspective of, oh, this guy's marketable, we can use him and they can make more money. Then there's the NIL, the collectives, where it's like pay for play. Where they have these kind of like I wish we almost had an NIL expert like on the show with us all the time.
If you are an NIL expert out there,
Reach out to us.
reach out to Katie and Jack.
We and at Unnecessary Roughness on Twitter.
I still don't have the
at
password.
Unness Roughness, UNECC Roughness. But
Side note, really quick, which one of you was the one that said Kayce and spelled my name? Like going back at that guy.
Jack.
well, I
It was
spelled,
so funny. No, I know it was hilarious
because
because he did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like he spelt it wrong, and you were like, "No, Kayce does have the password," and the guy didn't
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, I
get
know,
it.
I know.
I loved that. Like that was kudos, sir. By the way, I will say this once more: I do not have the fucking
He
password.
doesn't have the
Continue.
passwords.
Puppy.
By the way, Brandon logged in the other. Or is that? Did he have you tweet that? The
Brandon
Arkansas
logged in?
Ole Miss thing.
No, that's him.
He just tweeted out the Arkansas Ole Miss 4th and 25 play randomly
reason?
one day, and it did really well. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." The tweet was literally, "If you're having a bad day, this will cheer you up." It was just the Arkansas.
I remember
Ole Miss
that tweet
4th.
too. I didn't even like, because sometimes I can see when like a brand is like different. I didn't even tell.
I didn't. No, it was legitimately. Oh, we're good. We're good.
Also, it's 5-1
False alarm.
Oklahoma. Grand
Yeah,
slam.
we're good. We're good.
I
Grand slam for Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, they're the best team of all time. Anyways,
the fact that Brandon still has the password and pretends like he doesn't sometimes. I can't.
We
I can't
haven't-
get
we
this
haven't
out
updated
anymore.
header.
What's
It just
this
needs
tweet
to
with
be
800 likes. By the way, we put up just a photo of the
Horns down.
Oklahoma pitcher doing the horns down. It got like 17,000 likes. We took
a
it from
cheat-
a guy,
it's a
and
cheat
some
code.
guy got really mad at us for like taking this photo. I was like, dude, it's on the TV.
Yeah, no, you can't
We
get
should
mad.
have. We should have. Sorry for that guy. I forget his name. He works at like the SB Nation Oklahoma. Sorry to you.
Whatever.
I should have credited you. I fucked up.
No, it's on the TV. You could go back and get it.
I know, but I
don't know
took
how that
his.
works.
But I fucked up. Like I'm
Whatever,
sorry. But you took a screenshot of your TV. Anyways, we would love to have an NIL expert on the show, and if the NIL expert, even if we could have an NIL episode. And we can just ask this
shit.
guy like a bunch of, or a woman, a bunch of questions.
Feminist
I want to
Jack?
know. It's like how these shell companies for the NIL, like Spire Sports, which I think is Tennessee.
I might have someone.
How much work do they actually do? Well, Spire Sports isn't going to come on and tell us what they're doing. We need to have like an expert that knows like everyone. That'll like because you
rat some people out.
I don't want to rat out Spire Sports. That's not the role.
No,
of us.
but I want somebody that'll come in and rat out what's going on.
I want to know
I
like
want to snitch.
so that company is technically a company.
You get Paul Anderson,
Who's
maybe
that?
our in-house lawyer. Wouldn't have
Oh wait, I don't know if he knows anything about NIL.
I guess the legal side.
But he doesn't like. I want to know like what's the ins and
Specific.
outs. Like I want
somebody that'll
who's connected.
snitch.
Like there was a guy that I quoted that is an NIL lawyer expert now,
Haha, we need that person.
and he has like helped out with writing articles and stuff. And he's we tagged him in a tweet.
There's one
He's
from
a-
Florida.
He's potentially a guy that it's like a whole that if you are an NIL lawyer and you want to get into college sports, become an NIL consultant.
Oh my God.
You'll change.
I bet every major agency is going to get them too.
100%. No, this is everything.
Yeah.
The money, the arms race is only beginning here.
And which I know it's going to be hard to, it's putting the whatever. What does he say? The toothpaste back in the tube? Is that a
Yeah, it's like it's impossible.
It's impossible. But yeah, no, it's definitely, and it's going to keep rolling until there's some sort of fix. And obviously this leads into, we don't have to talk about it too much because it's just, I think it's so over talked about, even though I love it. This goes back to Nick Saban's comments about it, SEC meetings, as we mentioned. It seems like this beef is publicly squashed. No chance it's privately squashed. Nick Saban said on Tuesday he shouldn't have singled him out. Nobody, he said, I never said anybody did anything wrong. Jimbo Fisher follows up and says, I don't want to comment on it. The beef is done for now. We're moving on. I don't buy that.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
no, I mean it's almost like it's like when there's a fight in the friend group, and then like,
It's really good. Yeah.
and then you say you moved on, but then like
You ain't
there's
moved on
one
from
big
shit.
there's one big group chat, but then there's 5 separate ones where one person's not in it, and everyone's talking shit.
Yeah. Well, and like,
There's these 2 employees here. I'm not gonna say their names, but
Oh.
one says the other doesn't do any work, and the other says that person doesn't do any work. Like it's a circle.
just on camera.
No, it's off camera. I'm not going to mention that.
No, I know you don't have to.
You
but
can
get
apply that to half
the
the people here.
juice. You get the tea, Jack.
But it's hilarious because it's like this person thinks that person doesn't do any work, but that person thinks the other person who doesn't think he doesn't do any work thinks that guy doesn't do any
Do
work.
they know that each
do
other are
any
talking
work?
shit?
What?
Do they know that each other are
Oh,
talking
yeah.
shit?
Do you think they do? Either of them actually do work?
Do they are,
yeah,
Katie?
I think both of them do work. Like
Jack also stands up. He stood up for me recently too.
yeah, like
Not about my work ethic, by the way. Not about that. Something completely different.
But I think like this is like getting older. Like not everybody's gonna do like 1 billion hours of work at every company, and it's okay if you just want to do like the bare minimum, get by. Like it's whatever.
Well, it's also too like we're in an industry where people on the outside don't really have a fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Like I blogged, I think it was something from this show, and they're like, "Oh, 2 blogs this whole year, congratulations." It's like, do you know people get paid to do other things? The people have no fucking idea what's going on, but I feel like with, in comparison to like the coaches thing, Kirby Smart then came out and said like, you guys should listen to our headsets. Like what they said was Mickey Mouse, which it was, it's not like they were like,
What he's saying, it's like, oh, like people just swear.
yeah, that's probably true. Like, I mean,
He was saying like people when coaches yell at each other on
Right.
but that's in the heat of the moment. That's
Right,
much
that's true.
different. Like when you're in the heat of battle, people yell at each other, then you get over it. But if like
this is real
that
shit.
was like a direct attack
Yes.
from that wasn't like we're both drunk and we're just yelling at each other. That's like no. Jimbo Fisher set up a press conference not to answer questions, just to sit there and be like, y'all think this man's God. Look into how God does his business.
Yeah, no, again, I think it's incredibly funny. I don't know who it was. He was a blue check mark that he was like, oh, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher had a run in at SEC meetings, and then you actually like read it and it was like, no, they didn't. Like Jimbo's back was to Saban the
doesn't
entire
count.
time. I love how fucking petty this
People
is.
lost their minds over that.
It's high school, and I am here for it because there are nothing like college football fights. These are grown ass men, and we're watching them if they like look at each other. I think it's great.
It was funny. You can almost see there's a whole round of people being like, "Oh my God, they're gonna meet. What they're gonna say," and then they thought they met, and there's a whole other round of people like, "No, nothing happened."
Yeah, October 8th is going to be crazy. We've talked about this a ton, obviously, but they did both talk about it, and like I said, Kirby Smart weighed in. But I'm here for all of it. I think it's great. I wish every conference would have a coach rivalry. I think it'd be very fucking funny if like Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh came out just swinging at each other right now. I think it'd be awesome.
Reality TV but on Twitter instead of like it's like hosted on Hulu. It's literally on Twitter. Just
Well, we're Barstool Sports is the exact same way.
Yeah.
We are reality TV.
Reality TV
All
for
right, we'll
adults.
finish up with.
Yeah, we're pretty much a reality TV and sportsbook company now.
Yeah, and we've been reality.
We've been reality TV.
The thing about like the Super Bowl, the last true Super Bowl house we had was in Atlanta, and we had multiple houses there, and then we ended up doing a hotel for Miami. But I mean, that was like actually living in an MTV house. It's crazy. The last thing I wanted to mention, and I know we've talked about this too, and I don't know how you guys feel. I know Brandon and I go at it. So there is a rumor out there that Urban Meyer may be going to Bowling Green.
What?
If you look in the group text, it's the first article that I sent today. I do not know why that would make sense for Urban Meyer at all. I would understand why Bowling Green would want him.
Well, he coached there already.
Right. But why would it make sense for him? Like, I'm surely he's going to get paid way more money being in the media.
Really?
I would think. From Bowling Green?
And look at Tom Brady's deal.
He could get he would get more in the media, I would assume. He'd probably get around $1 million a year on Bowling Green.
I'm also pretty sure
Tom
that
Brady
the
looked so
reason
good yesterday.
they would there would be so much lashback out of
Backlash.
Thank you.
Backlash.
You having a stroke, Katie?
Maybe. It's been a long day. Backlash for him going back after everything that I think they'll counteract that by not paying him much.
Yeah, no, I don't think that would be smart. But then
Like a
again, it is
charity on
Bowling Green, though. He's coached
They're
there.
just like, it seems like this was just a theory from like some.
I know, again, rumors are great, though.
Yeah, just from like Ohio State, Cleveland.com guys. Doug. This is the guy that wrote the article about the NIL. We tagged him today. The guy who wrote the article about NIL 13 million was the one who came up with the theory that you could go back to.
I mean, obviously Bowling Green would love that. He's already coached there.
Urban still has a lot of friends at Bowling Green who are big time donors. I really think the stars could align and he could end up there.
I just don't see why Urban would do that. But hey, you know what? If he wants to get back into coaching that badly,
Well, that would turn like Maction would be wild.
Yeah, it'd be even crazier. I mean,
goes to Texas Tech or Washington State, it's going to be so hard to win at a high level. Obviously, Urban could be the guy who does it, but if you go to Bowling Green, you could just rule the MAC. But why would you want to do that?
think about this, and I know we've already. I bring him up. We all bring him up all the time because he's one of our coworkers. But like, think about if Urban went to Bowling Green and he started pulling recruits like Dion did this year, and like multiple players going from big time D1 schools to Jackson State. If you get Urban Meyer at Bowling Green, like he could do that. Now, granted, he's not one of the greatest athletes of all time, but he is one of the best college football coaches. He's a scumbag, but
No, I think they're right. He would rule.
action. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, like I was like, say
Or he would rule MAC.
say, and again, ignore all the details going to happen. Say Nick Saban picks up shop only himself and goes to New Mexico State.
He would go. The best example would be Kent State. He played there.
Sure, but I'm saying like just bottom. I feel like even like New Mexico has even less of a foundation. But say yeah, Kent State, New Mexico State. Would people stay at Alabama for Alabama, or would everyone follow him for Nick Saban? Like how long would it take?
Depend on their
Alabama.
Where they
I
are.
think Alabama would probably. I mean that, like it wouldn't be that hard to reload. You would pick another coach. You still have all of your facilities. You have all your donors. Yeah. It would be tough to keep them, but the donors aren't going to follow Nick Saban. They're donors and boosters because of Alabama.
Right. Well, and the opposite is a better example, I think, because like the kids that are going to Jackson State that could be playing at a Power 5 school, the theory could be, well, they're going because of Dion. Like they know that if Dion moves to a bigger school, they can then transfer. I don't know if you'd see a lot of players transferred all the way down just because of a coach. Do you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like
there might be a couple, but I don't think
Travis Hunter
did
Yeah,
go
that's
to
true.
Jackson State because of Dion.
Mizzou.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But like then Travis Hunter knows that there's a potential that Dion could go get a much bigger job. I'm saying the
true.
opposite. Like I don't see if like Nick Saban decides to leave Alabama for whatever
I see.
reason and go to
Kent
State. I don't think you see a lot of big time players being like, okay, I just want to go play with Coach Saban. I think you only see that if you're leveling up with the team.
Yeah. I think he would
Did anyone
find some
go to
transfers.
Georgia Southern for?
Clay
Was it Georgia Southern or Georgia State?
Clay Helton?
Yeah, like
Well,
if any
no,
USC.
but he's
I don't
not.
think he was very popular.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only example I can think of.
No, I think Georgia Southern. Are there any players that went with him? Maybe. I know their team improved a little bit from the perspective of talent because they're just changing how they do everything there because they have a roster of all triple option guys, and then now he's coming into town and he's doing a little bit of a more pro style classic offense, which is going to be just because Georgia Southern fans are so crazy, and so passionate. That's going to be very interesting because they don't like new shit down there. And
I like that you brought out the accents a few times.
But Georgia Southern, it should be interesting with Clay Helton. But yeah.
All right, so that's the news. We are going to go to our lists, and I am excited about this one because we threw in a little caveat that makes it a little bit more interesting. So again, it is the off season. Coming up with like hypotheticals and random shit can be difficult. But what I propose today is, let's say you have an unlimited budget. You can do whatever you want. You have every bit of free time. Your top 5 places that you want to go watch a game that you've never been before. Now, that's the caveat because that means my list will be completely different than your list and completely different than Katie's list and vice versa. If Brandon was here, obviously, we would have even more parity. So your top 5 places you want to see a game, you've never seen one, and then the last 5 you would ever want to see one. Play the bottom feeder games that you don't want to see. Now, obviously, like, we're talking about, and Katie mentioned this to me when I brought it up, it's like, well, you're talking about like shitty teams and shitty schools. I'm talking about the games that you actually would potentially have an option to go to, right?
Yeah, like let's take like FBS.
All my list, all Power 5. You can have G5 on there too. But
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm not saying like, I'm not just going to list like Louisiana, Monroe.
Right, like I'm not going to just throw teams under the bus just because like they're lesser
I was
than.
getting
Like,
a football first TikTok.
A random
I love
D3,
it.
D2 school.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we are, like we're not doing that. We're talking about just games that you would actually.
And then we also,
go
don't
to.
forget, we put out the tweet. Should we do the tweet first?
I think we should do the tweet. Oh, because maybe people could pitch us. You mean?
Yeah. I'll pull it up on my computer.
Okay, so we also put out a tweet that basically said
On our Twitter.
on unnecessary roughness.
Please follow. I would assume
Say it
at
again.
this point
Say that how to spell it again.
At UNNEC roughness.
Yes.
So unness roughness.
You say unness, I say unneck. Is it?
Well,
That's actually probably I'll see myself out.
Unness roughness.
If you said unneck roughness, I would know what you're saying.
But
Yeah.
maybe she's thinking roughneck too. Also, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Jack's the king of our TikTok.
Yeah, and we post clips on the TikTok.
Yeah.
And if you're not watching on YouTube, give it a try. If you are on YouTube, thank you.
Yeah, no, YouTube, you get the visual.
Like the video right now, share, comment, whatnot. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you.
I really...
And we're like probably an hour in. They've been, if you make it an hour in, that's another, like, credit to you.
And we're about to do a list that might piss you off if you're watching.
Kayce, we have a new going back. Kayce Smith.
Yes, sir.
Good news.
What is
We
that?
have a new sponsor this week.
We have a new sponsor?
Yes, and we love when new sponsors come on the show. And this time, this is going to help our audience just like the rest of our sponsors, but this one's a little bit different.
Tell me about it, Jack.
It is called Skrill.
Skrill, I like that. It's
SKR.
like Skrillex minus the EX.
Yeah, ILL, exactly.
Okay.
Skrill is the best digital wallet for gamblers because it was built for gamblers. So it's a digital wallet. All right. So it's it's digital. It's not like it's in your back pocket. Sophisticators have been using it to manage their bankroll, whether they're playing games like poker or betting on their favorite sports. They manage their bankroll using the wallet. So there's features. Obviously, one of the best, one of the keys to becoming a successful gambler and like not getting out of control and doing like going on tilt or whatnot is manage your bankroll. And Skrill helps with that. You can access your bankroll with instant deposits and withdrawals, and also draw the cash using your prepaid card. This gives you access to your bankroll whenever you are in the world in any currency. So I know we do have some I think there's a guy from Australia who listens. He can get
Hello.
Skrill. Skrill is I think a London-based company.
Oh.
The reason I know that is because Skrill was lucky enough and thankful for them too to sponsor a soccer stream I was at, and obviously we have Troops, Expressions, they have all different currencies. They're from different parts of the world, and Skrill has helped out with that. And here's the thing. Skrill is giving away $10,000 this week. All right?
Oh,
listen up.
that's a lot of money.
Did you hear what I said? They're giving away $10,000 this week. The first 100 customers who sign up are getting a $100 bonus in their Skrill account.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Sign up now.
I'm not even saying that like patronizing. That's fucking crazy.
Sign up now at skrill.com/barstool. That's right. Skrill.com.barstool. SKRILL.com/barstool. Before all the bonuses are claimed, terms and conditions apply. That's skrill.com/barstool. Shout out Skrill. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
And yeah.
Thank you. Welcome and thank you.
.com/barstool. Enter that giveaway. Maybe you'll get that $100 bonus. Oh yeah, you're gonna. If
I
you're
love
still
the
here,
facial
you're gonna
expressions.
be.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. Okay, so we put out a tweet. Let's just read through like some quick ones before we put out our
Colton
list.
Kirby, Hughes Stadium. Is that Colorado State? Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
And Colorado State just lost their Barstool account today, I think.
Because of him.
Oh, because of him. This is hilarious. So shout out Colton Kirby for losing the Colorado State account on Twitter.
Is he the one that said I should be rooting for Texas teams? Because that's fucking stupid.
Okay, but Colton Kirby.
Dumb.
All right, sorry.
Yeah,
bro.
Mets fans should be really rooting for the Yankees right now, fam.
Hughes Stadium tailgating was much better, but Canvas Stadium is not bad at all. Free alcohol, free food. Where you get that? Tons of games screens on a lot of people's RVs on or in their tents to watch games that are happening at that moment. Awesome vibes.
What stadium?
What school was that?
Colorado State.
Oh, Colorado. Oh, that's still Colton Kirby. He had a lot to say.
Free alcohol? That's not even legal, technically.
No, I think he's saying like if you go up to a random tailgate.
Oh.
Grove Sharper, lifelong SEC hater who grew up in Georgia and attends UGA. What? For how big Georgia football is, the stadium and atmosphere are incredibly underwhelming. Top tier city and bar scene, but Sanford ain't it.
Are we sure that's not Brandon's burner?
Maybe.
Probably is Brandon's burner. But I mean, that's what sucked about making this list for me is that I've been to all 14 SEC schools and most of the Big 12. But like, I would say that like Athens as a college town, elite. Athens Stadium, Stanford
Stanford.
Stadium in Athens, not elite in the SEC.
Jokic, 2 times MVP truther at Ed Need IG7. Not necessarily the best tailgating scene, but it's tough to beat a live Buffalo Bison for those who really care, running out on the field with the best matchup in college football. Colorado would be going to a game there, would be very, very cool.
Colorado made the list, did not make the cut.
Derek Calvin Music, Manhattan, Kansas. Not many stadiums have the parking lot where all 50K people are in the same 2 parking lots. That is a cool...
2 parking lots.
It's got to be massive.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy.
Hunter, 33 Hunter P. Madison, Wisconsin. Best college town, tailgating and jump around, baby. Oh, and the football team's pretty good, 100%.
Oh, yeah, and Camp Randall's awesome.
We got Egg, Evalley, 123. LSU's tailgating isn't the best, but Death Valley at night is oppressive for opponents. It's so incompressible. It's
Comprehensible? Is that what you're trying to say?
Incomprehensibly loud, and the fact that there's only 2 levels for 102K makes it seem like it's a never-ending sea of people.
Yeah, no, I mean Death Valley's
Which Death Valley?
LSU.
Gotcha.
And then he says at the end, "Suck that tiger dick, bitch." All right, JT Jagobic. I went to Clemson in 2019, only had 3 beers from our case of Millers because the Clemson faithful took care of us at nearly every tailgate we walked by. Unbelievably nice people with a gorgeous campus.
Yeah, Clemson is. I mean, I've been there. It was really fucking hot, but that is a great game day atmosphere.
Chris Bond, as much as I like BYU football, I can't imagine the tailgating is all that good.
It's interesting that whenever you
There's
ask,
a lot of lots there, I will say. It's parking lots right by, like, the nicest parking lots you see, like, 0 walking distance, but then also there are 2 bars in all of Provo.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Although I guess those people make them a lot of money. It's interesting when we put tweets out like this, though, to see how people interpret it, because it's like, when I think of where I want to go for games, I'm thinking like this list that we're going to do. I'm thinking of like the literal stadium atmosphere. Yeah. Most people think of tailgating atmosphere.
I mean, it's definitely part of it.
They put tailgating in the...
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
I will also say that I think BYU probably tailgates with soda. The one thing about the Mormons, I guess they're obsessed with their like soda shops. Imagine going to an ice cream parlor, but instead of the base being ice cream, it's soda. Like you can put syrup, milk.
Yeah, because they can't drink anything else.
Yeah, it's insane.
Imagine not being able to drink coffee.
The view, though, out of BYU Stadium, it's like Montana.
Keep going.
Cons came in and just a bunch of photos of Army. He's not wrong about that. Barstool Fresno, the sweet fall smell of grass parking lot on each side of Bulldog Stadium, full of canopies, fraternity mall directly adjacent to the west. To the east, a slight breeze with a hint of tri-tip smell from Doghouse Grill. Well, this is like
waxing poetic.
Yeah, this is like he's writing copy for something. Floats through the air. All is right in the world. Chat him. Yeah. We can get into ours.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of them. I was reading them, and I mean, people were really getting into it, and I love that. And that's how you know people are waiting.
Part of my take, Scavenger. Not a fan of them, but being at West Virginia tailgating is the epitome of anarchy tailgating.
Oh, that is so accurate.
Chaos on hills covered with blue and yellow.
I mean, if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you know. But when we went on campus, we saw a streaker, a full-blown naked man. We saw a lot of boobs. Brandon got flashes. It was the best day of Brandon's life. We saw a man beer bonging out of an animal head of some sort. I can't remember what it was, but a real dead animal head beer bong. Like, that is crazy. Like, that's anarchy. There are people on, like, bringing up their truck tailgates, like, all the way up to the stage. I can't even describe what goes on in West Virginia. It's fucking crazy.
I really hope we go there this year.
I mean, it's wild. I would have put West Virginia on my list for tailgating scenes if I hadn't already been there, just because you have to imagine people that light couches on fire throw fucking parties.
Oh, it's on mine.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, so we'll start. Should we start with the top or start with the bottom? We start with the top, huh?
It's our top. It's positive.
Okay. Should I just read all of my lists and then instead of like going back and forth for time's sake? Okay. So the top places, again, I have never been. So my list is a little bit limited in that, which I'm not, that sounds like such an asshole thing to say, but whatever. Number 1, and I'm really shocked I've never been to this. I would love to go to Lane Stadium, Virginia Tech, because I want to see Enter Sandman in person.
That's so close to.
I know.
We went.
I know. But Virginia Tech, number 1. This one also surprises me just because how many Big Ten games I've been to. I've never been to Penn State. I've never been inside Beaver Stadium. We've been to Penn State for a live show, but we did not stay for the game. Obviously the whiteout, but I've never seen a game inside Beaver Stadium. Kinnick is number 3. I know Brandon would probably roll over right now if he was here, but I want to see the Kinnick wave. I know Iowa fans are not Brandon's favorite people. I think the Kinnick wave would be very cool to see in person. I want to sailgate at Washington. So number 4 is Husky Stadium. And then Captain Cons, wherever you are right now, I hope you're getting ready for our trip to Sonoma. I put Army at number 5, actually going to West Point. You know, you've got the upstate New York backdrop and then just all the pageantry of Army. I've been to the Army-Navy game multiple times. I can only imagine watching an Army home game. So Vatech, Penn State, Iowa, Washington, Army for me. Jack?
All right. First up, Florida State.
Great place.
I've never been there. I haven't been most places, but I did want to include a Florida school. I mean, Florida was close to it, but Florida State.
Florida State's better than Florida.
Florida State for a Florida State Miami game. Next up, Oregon. I want to get out there, and I think it's a great setting. And we know they have very passionate fans. Definitely the most passionate on the West. Washington fans will probably get mad at us saying that, but I do think they're probably the most passionate fans. Next up, I moved the team off, but I put it on after talking about them today. I want to go to a Georgia Southern game. I want to see Statesboro. I want to see them come up in a yellow bus, the players. I think the fans will be crazy. I think it will be like a really like homey feel, not like a massive game, and it'll be a good trip for like the third one. Then 4th, I'd go to LSU. Got to go to Death Valley.
Oh, absolutely.
Then 5th, I want to go to Tennessee, and I would go when they're good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to 3 of the 5 you just mentioned. While the Swamp is great, you picked right with Florida State. The Tomahawk Chop.
I think Swamp's great. I would love to go to the Swamp, but I think Tomahawk Chop, and I think Florida State's just it's a party school. It's like a phenomenal party school.
Yeah, no, I of those 2, I would pick it. No, and Tennessee, and what was the other SEC school you said?
LSU.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have to explain that, but I would love to go to Death Valley.
All right, good list, Katie.
I'm gonna go with West Virginia, and also I've been to probably least out of all of us. So West Virginia, Wisconsin, Alabama, A&M, solely for the yell and the nut grab to see if it's actually true.
Oh, they don't fucking nut grab.
And then
what are you, Brandon, today?
I want to see the nut grab.
Someone has to fill in for him.
Fine. All right, what's number 5?
And then Penn State, but it has to be a whiteout.
Yeah, the whiteout. I mean, that's a must see. Thank you for putting A&M on there because that is definitely.
Penn State's a great That's one that should have been on my list, but I'm glad you guys put it on there.
Yeah, no,
I was going to do LSU and swapped it out for Bama.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing with
any SEC team, maybe besides Vanderbilt.
Well, that's what when I was doing the bottom schools,
I would even say like Kentucky would be a great one to go to.
Kentucky's great. Vanderbilt's by far the worst because they stink. But you are in Nashville, so it kind of depends.
You are in Nashville. You're
not
wrong.
in Nashville.
Maybe it's like if your team's playing, you can have a Nashville weekend.
Yeah, so there is that perspective. But if you're talking like the way I did the list was solely like games I want to see in the stadium, Vanderbilt would not sniff. I mean, it would be in my bottom if I had not been to Vanderbilt for sure. But I like that. I like Oregon is a great one. I did not think about Oregon. I haven't been to Oregon.
Yeah, I think that would be just. I mean, it would take so long to get out there from here, but it would be. I have to go before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I picked Washington because of sailgating, and yeah, I know you can fucking sailgate at Baylor. A, I've been to a game at Baylor, so it can't make my list. And B, I'm not going to fucking Waco over Washington.
I just thought of a team that no one put that we should have.
Who?
University of Hawaii.
See, the only reason I say no to that, because I actually thought about putting them on my bottom as from the standpoint of the actual game. Because the stadium, I don't think the stadium, I've heard that it's not great, but also you have to travel all the way across the world.
The new stadium is like weird.
They're trying to move the Pro Bowl out of Hawaii. I mean, the NFL is trying to get the fuck out.
The Oahu Stadium is no longer. They play in a new stadium now. It's like a.
But as a vacation.
Obviously, Hawaii,
yeah. But the stadium itself, I thought about that too, Katie.
I go with some hot bitches.
Oh damn, hot bitches, huh?
Yeah, I'm not going to Hawaii with dudes.
But a vacation. Oh, I mean, I even pitched
I mean, I'll go with you guys. Well, hot bitches.
Thank you, Jack. You were about to dig a hole.
We'll pitch them during bowl season.
Oh, I pitched him for week 0 a few years ago just because I wanted to go to Hawaii. I don't give a shit about the Hawaii football team, no offense. But, I mean, we can go to Hawaii. All right, Katie, I'm going to start with you. We're going to go backwards. The bottom 5. So the 5 places you least want to watch a game. And obviously, like I said, in comparison to it be relative. We're not talking like random D2 and D3 schools.
So only really 2 come to mind.
Okay.
So it's going to be Vanderbilt and New Mexico State.
Okay.
Even Vanderbilt, I'd still do.
New Mexico State. You have a new hate for New Mexico.
I love it. I love it.
They are an awful, awful team.
Well, there's another team that's also associated with New Mexico State when talking college football, but I was trying to be nice. But also for you being a fandom. I feel, isn't it UConn and New Mexico State back and forth?
Oh, get out of here. It's not even comparable. The 2 programs aren't even.
I know, and that's why I'm not. Also, because I feel
Mexico
like
State's
I want
been to 1 bowl game in the 21st century.
I want to see UConn do well. I care about UConn.
Yeah.
We care about you, Jack.
I'm planning a trip Friday, November 3rd, I think it is. UConn, UMass. It's at the Rent Friday night. I think I'm going for sure, unless something comes up for work.
Come get.
I don't know if you guys are going, if you'll be on the road, but however, everyone's invited from Barstool. It's going to be amazing.
Well, I'll go.
I think I could get the whole company field passes because it's
UConn. I mean, but that's still cool. Field passes are always cool.
I am UConn football. Like
I am UConn.
I am UConn football.
I got to return to the Rent. It was so funny. We were at the Barstool Philly bar before Troops and Expressions had a stream, and there was a really long line, and I was with Jet Ski and Troops and Expressions agent. And I was like, I don't want to go up to them and be like, yo, I work at Barstool, can we cut the line? And then we went to another bar, and then Troops went up to the bouncer and was like, I am Barstool, you have to let me and my boys in right now. And the guy was like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, look at my Instagram, and then he was like, all right, you can come in.
You didn't go in our own bar? You waited in line? That's a man of the people.
Well, I didn't. We were Troops and Expressions were behind us. They were back at the hotel. We went to another bar, and then I was like, if Troops and Expressions want to pull that card, but I wouldn't have.
Even our own bar.
No, because I didn't it would have been so douchey.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to use those perks, and it is our bar.
I should have reached out.
Yeah. Okay.
Before
fair.
and been like, hey, if we're gonna come by, could we
Yeah,
but I wasn't
man
gonna
of the
do it,
people, Jack Mack.
It would have been and then also if someone recorded, it just would have looked weird. And I get it. If someone did it from here, I wouldn't have been I would have been that's normal, but it didn't feel right in the moment.
That's fair. You trusted your gut. So, Katie, you're going with only those 2?
It's all. And then I think 3, 4, and 5 are just rain games. I'll do snow games. I'll do heat. I'll do that. Something about being in the rain for an entire game.
I've been in the rain. I've been in the snow. I've been in the heat for UConn football.
Oh, God.
I still go to rain games, just not.
I would make the argument for me. I would rather be in a rain game than a super hot game. Just because it's miserable.
Yes, I just get worried about my phone because
I guess what a Gen Z thing.
Well, I can't not go to a game now.
Jesus.
And I'll be
that's true.
Tweeting it or that's the thing about kind of working and tweeting football games is that I can't now watch a sports game and not look at Twitter too because you get so much more information. Mm-hmm. It's kind of ruined it for me. I can still do it. It feels weird. I feel almost naked watching a game with not seeing Twitter.
Well, everybody's not picturing Katie naked. Good for you. Jack, your bottom 5?
Number 1, Northwestern. Although it is on the water, it is just it's kind of nerdy.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen their new practice facility, the indoor one?
Yeah, no, it's sick.
That looks awesome.
And I think Northwestern, somebody I would say from the perspective of Northwestern, they're someone that will have donors, boosters, and they have a nice facility. They have a decent history. So there's someone that could, but their stadium's just and it's always gray. Another always gray stadium, Michigan State. It's just I don't want to go there. I guess you may have fun, but I don't want to go there. TCU's up next. As I was writing it down, it's wait a second, TCU has really hot girls, but I don't know. It's if I'm going to Texas, they're they may be at the bottom of the list. Yeah, Baylor going to Waco would probably. I'm gonna put Waco in there instead of TCU.
Okay.
Because I heard Texas isn't it in the stadium
UConn went to Waco once and beat Baylor in Waco.
So Waco, Baylor. Obviously, Waco is a shit town. Lubbock. I mean, I had a lot of fun.
I'd rather go to
Lubbock.
Lubbock.
when I was in college, but Lubbock is a shit town. But it's not close to anything. That's the thing, is a lot of people have a lot of things to say about College Station, but it's close. But I mean, an A&M game is completely different. SMU is not great.
Yeah, but at least you're in Dallas and
Rice,
you're
definitely
around,
not great.
You're around
Yeah.
you like I know some people in the SMU area that are like very affluent and like they would.
Oh,
have a good
definitely,
time. It would make a good
definitely.
time.
Well, TCU is the same way. I mean, at
Yeah,
TCU,
that's
SMU, it's like
if you're
but-
hooked up in the proper way, it would be kind of like. But the thing is, when it's like that, you don't feel like you're going to a football game. It's like you're going to like
a party, like a
like
fancy
an
party.
upscale party.
Well, that's what people. And again, I'm not saying this, and you guys can back me up. I'm not saying this as just a rival. Like
wine
I've
and
been,
cheese crowd.
I've been to plenty of games at Texas, and they're just not like, for as big as that stadium is and as loud as that fan base is, it is like a wine and cheese crowd. It really is.
I mean, you're not the only one saying that. So if anyone's getting mad at that, like you're not alone.
No,
SMU just feels rich as a whole.
it is.
Well,
It is.
Yeah, I know
It
it
doesn't
is.
feel. It is.
TCU is rich too. They're both
You
rich.
too, yeah. Both private Christian schools. Well,
Methodist and Christian.
Methodist,
yeah, but
but
it's the
same thing, yeah.
Okay,
And
so we're putting Baylor in instead.
Yep, and then Pittsburgh, because it's just like it's away from the campus, a lot like UConn. I don't feel like they really have a big like even this year when their team was doing so well, it didn't even feel like there was fans going to the
I
game.
feel like it's hard like that. Them and Miami and Hard Rock, when you play a college team in an NFL stadium.
That was
At
my
least Miami's like it's Miami,
yeah.
and there's like there's edge, a swagger to it as the logos slowly one by one.
Yeah, I mean,
Pilar.
Yeah.
Oh.
it's her birthday today.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
shit.
She was wearing something else today.
Yeah.
It's cold. Well, she put on a sweatshirt because it's fucking cold. It goes back to what we were
Oh, I thought she was wearing a dress. It doesn't matter. Why
Doesn't
would
but
speaking of wine and cheese crowd, Pilar went to Texas, big Texas fan.
yeah, I will say that college teams playing in NFL stadiums, I don't like at all anyways. Like, I think it's bullshit. The worst one, when I was thinking about it, is probably, I would think, Tulane in the Superdome.
They don't play there.
Well, but they did at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did, but they built their own stadium.
Well, right, but when they
Yeah.
did, like, can you imagine, like, the amount of, like,
Yeah, I
it,
think they did play there for a
it was
little bit.
probably, like, completely empty. I don't know. Maybe that's unfair because, you know.
I'm trying to think of other teams that have. Yeah, who are some other teams that play in?
Oh, God.
Who plays in Raymond James?
Nobody.
Yeah, some college team does.
Oh, Raymond James, South Florida does.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of Houston. Yeah, South
Yes.
Florida plays at Raymond James.
Temple plays in.
Oh yeah,
Philly.
that's just brutal.
That's brutal.
And they've even like shout out to Temple. They've produced like a pretty good football program for not having like any fans.
Yeah.
San Diego State in the Chargers and South Florida and Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. That's
This
the one we
is-
were.
San Diego
Raymond
State's
James.
building their
Oh.
own
This has a.
stadium now. They play.
It's an article in
at the
2018.
San Diego like FC stadium, I think.
There's also been multiple teams like Cincinnati at one point played in an NFL stadium while their stadium was under renovation. Like there's been that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done.
Next up, North Carolina.
Oh.
I just don't wanna go.
Oh, this is the worst list, right? What?
Yeah, I don't want to go.
Why not?
Just seems like you guys don't even.
girls are hot.
tailgate. Yeah, I'm not saying the girls aren't hot, but like. there's
You'd rather
lot
go to a
of hot
basketball
girls.
game.
Yeah, basketball would be cool.
I will say we're not a tailgate school.
But even just like the atmosphere.
You guys are basketball. There's nothing wrong. UConn's the same. But that being said, no one said about North Carolina the loudest stadium they've ever played in.
Oh.
And a Heisman winner
RG3,
never said that.
That's just crazy.
Heisman winner, RG3 said that.
He said some crazy shit though. So
There's only been 50 people. What name another thing crazy he said?
I don't think we should get into that.
What's another thing he said?
Didn't he have some problems?
What problems?
Never mind.
All right. Well,
At the
anyway.
end of your list.
Yep.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm.
I
He
mean,
had a scandal, didn't he?
he didn't.
Didn't he? He didn't have it. Oh, you know what he did? I remember what he did. He sent dick pics on his wedding night.
To his wife?
Yeah, no, to someone else. I'm pretty sure RG3 was sending dick pics to somebody else on his first wedding night. I think he's been remarried since.
Oh, okay.
I think.
He did remarry.
I think that like a girl came out and was like sending. You look, Za. I'm gonna put my headphones in. Read what you found.
Headline reads: Robert Griffin III sex message photos being shopped.
Yes.
I'm looking for the photos.
And I think they were dick
Actually,
pics.
pause. I'm not looking for.
Brett Favre did the same thing.
No. I'm not saying. I take back. I for some reason thought that RG3 scandal was something.
The only RG3 gets a lot of shit for because he's like married white women from.
That was bullshit.
That's like the only controversy I can think of. Like people, if you go on his, like, and people think he's like really cringy, but I mean,
whatever. If he said it was allowed
on TikTok now.
Yeah, he's a cringy guy, but he also is very smart and a Heisman winner. And
yeah, he did win a Heisman.
He has the best hearing ever. He actually took a test on it.
Well, he didn't. Stay tuned for my list, Jack. My number one I would not want to go to, and I've said this as watching as well, Boise State. I can't fucking watch that blue field. I can't do it. Like I get
blame you.
I get a headache watching it on TV. I can't imagine it being in person. I feel like I would faint. Number 2, Memphis.
You would faint.
Liberty Bowl. The Liberty Bowl is such a shithole.
Also, Memphis is a dangerous place to be.
The Liberty Bowl just looks like you're miserable the whole time.
Okay.
Number 3, and this might be unfair just because you already brought up all the Texas schools. I've never been to a game at Rice, nor would I ever want to be at a game at Rice. It's in Houston, fine. It look like if they are televised, it looks like shit. North Texas the same way. So I'm sorry to those schools, but
Destin, right?
No, I'm not going. What?
Where is it? Where's North Texas?
They're outside of Dallas.
Denton, not Destin.
Yes.
Denton.
I was like, it's definitely not in Destin. Denton, outside of Dallas. Yeah. Number 5 would be Washington State, Martin Stadium.
It's impossible to get to.
It's impossible to get to. They stink. It's fucking cold. And it just, like, the scenery around it looks like shit. Like, it just looks gray and dark and miserable. Like, at least if you're going to go, like, I would love the idea of going to a snow game. I like cold games. But if you're going to go, you better be watching, like, a fun team with a fun atmosphere. And Washington State is not that.
I think they do. No, I think Pullman does get a little fun.
Pullman does?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, I mean, every college.
Yeah, but I guess they do have a good reputation. But I'm not saying your list is
I'm talking
wrong.
about, again, I'm talking about, like, the stadium on Pullman's name.
Pullman and the Wazoo fans, because there's nothing else going on out there, so they get a little crazy.
That might be true, but just watching a game in the stadium. I'm sure Washington State fucking parties, but every college parties. And then, Jack, I am putting UConn at number 5. And hear me out. Hear me out.
Outrageous. 5.
Hear me out. The rent. Only because, and this is where the petty Hall of Fame comes in.
RG3 said it was the loudest ever.
That's why I don't want to go. Because if it is loud at all, which I'm sorry, Jack, I don't believe RG3, but if it is even remotely louder than I think that it is, I would have to admit that to you. And I don't want to do that. So I never want to watch a game at UConn simply because I want to continue to shit on it and not have any clue what I'm actually talking about.
All I'm saying is, once we return to not dominance, but like, to respectability.
To making bowl games?
Yeah, and like people going to the games. We will go to a game and like a tailgate and go around.
If you're watching YouTube, you're seeing my like
it's so easy to get there though. It's like
it's not the point, Jack. It's the point that I'm completely ignorant onto what Rentschler Field sounds like, and I want to continue to be so that I can say,
well, if you go to a game this year, it would be like quiet because there's not going to be a lot of fans there. But once we get back,
it's an if.
Like in a few years, oh my goodness gracious.
Well, I want to just continue to blindly mock it. Not mock UConn, mock RG3.
They should have me as the minister of culture for UConn football. That's all I'm saying.
You are UConn football.
You are.
I am UConn football. I'm like the proud, the few.
The loud.
The Huskies.
The Huskies.
UConn fan, like even like UConn diehard basketball fans, they're like, oh, we don't really care about football anymore. No, I'm waving that flag.
You're going down with the ship no matter what.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't want to have to give you any credit.
I wish the UConn Stadium, Rensselaer Field, was on their campus. It's 30 to 45 minutes from their campus.
That's bad.
Which is not good. However, the students still showed up when the students will show up when they're good. 100%.
When they're good. See, that's the problem is that stadiums that are awesome show up no matter what.
That's not true.
Yeah. Well,
give me an example.
It is in the SEC.
Tennessee when Tennessee was bad and the
okay, I'm really honestly I'm just talking about A&M. A&M's always sold out.
SEC.
Well, all right. Yeah.
Always, even if they're shit, because that's a real fan base.
I mean, obviously, UConn's fan base is not close to A&M. Like, I'm not. Crazy.
No. I know. You throw out an example. No, that's
did play at A&M.
I know. That's why I don't want to go to the rent, because I know that they're never going to be as loud as A&M just from a like.
So when both fan bases showed up.
Here's the thing, though, is that just from a numbers perspective, how many does the rent hold?
40.
A&M holds over 100, and I'm not any stadium over 100 is going to be fucking loud because there's 100,000 people there.
But RG3 said it was.
I don't believe a fucking word he says, which is why I don't want to go to UConn, because I don't want to have to give you credit.
All right, that's fair. You know
All
what?
right.
No,
that's a petty move.
It's your list. It's
a petty
your
move.
list.
You put
9-1.
North Carolina on to be petty. I'm putting UConn on to be petty.
It's
9-1.
your list, and you can do what you want.
My list, my choice.
Yes, 100%. I'm just fighting back.
Okay, that's totally fine. I mean, you got to stand up for your school.
9-1 Oklahoma.
Oh,
Dude, I'm like,
it's just, I mean,
they're the greatest team ever.
can you bet on college softball?
Yeah.
All right, Barstool Sportsbook app. Maybe
I don't know if it's on ours, but there's other.
If you can, Oklahoma might be the team. Speaking of betting, I don't know when this is going to come out, but we do have a new promo for the NBA Finals. If you are not watching, I have a sick throwback Boston Celtics jacket on, if I do say so myself.
She does.
The finals game 1 is tonight. What's the promo code on the sportsbook app?
Can't
Katie?
lose NBA. If you bet $20 on, this was your thing to promote.
My thing? I don't have my phone.
Reading.
Just read the graphic. I don't have my phone.
Graphic, not the different graphic.
It's on my Twitter.
It's on my Twitter too.
I should have put it on honest reference. I'll do it after the show. Just so we don't get yelled at.
I don't want to get yelled at. No, I don't. Well, also, while Katie's looking that up, shout out the Game Time app.
Yeah, shout out Game Time.
Game Time, if you
supplying, hey, college football season's right around the corner.
Yeah.
They may even have tickets up for games now.
Probably.
I'm not sure, but when they do, download it now.
Download
for
it now.
Your concert needs over the summer, or even tickets to other events.
use the promo code STOOL.
They do have college football, and they have college football all over. Like wherever you are, they will have it. Promo code
STOOL. And also, I want to thank them for sending me to the Justin Bieber concert tomorrow. I will be with Joey Camasta. I will be watching Justin Bieber. Shout out Game Time for sending me. Thank you.
That should be fun, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Justin Bieber is. All right, Katie. What's the?
Hold on. If you had to pick, well, you can only listen to one, interact with one, go to a concert of one, for the rest of your life. The other one ceases to exist in your mind. Machine Gun Kelly and Justin Bieber.
I'd kill myself first.
Jeez, don't kill
that's
yourself.
not an
I don't
answer.
want you to.
Well, thank you. I wasn't being serious. That's not a fair question, because I would have to say overall it would be Justin Bieber, because I've liked him for longer. Now I've only liked him since the Purpose album. I felt creepy liking him when he was younger, because he's just young enough in comparison to me, where when he was a kid, like I think I was like right around 18. But right now, a gun to my head, I think I would say Machine Gun Kelly.
Wow.
But I mean, that's asking to pick between two things that are impossible. It's like when I do my Marry, Fuck, Kill, and everyone's like, oh, Bieber, Machine Gun Kelly, Tom Brady. It's like, no, I'm just going to off myself. I don't want to choose.
Fair. So the NBA promo, for new signups only, with the code Can't Lose NBA, you bet $20 on
No spaces.
Correct. Bet $20 on any NBA Finals bet, and no matter what happens with your bet, win or lose or push, if a player scores 20 points in a game, you get 200.
There you go. And it's for the entire finals. So it's not just tonight.
Yeah.
Game 1 is tonight.
We're recording on a Thursday.
We're recording on a Thursday.
Sorry that it came out on Thursday this week. We just had some
we had some
things come up, unfortunately.
Things happen. We will be back next week.
For episode 200.
Episode 200 next week. It's big. We will be having Hate Week at some point soon. As soon as Brandon comes back, we will be doing Hate Week, so stay tuned for that. Boy, I've got some hate too. I have just pages of hate, so stay tuned for that. Have a great weekend. Go Celtics.